You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, Moses Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are ladies things that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. The Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you but doesn't judge you. At least not as harsh as your mother-in-law, because she never liked you anyway. She wanted her to marry Bob. And but the great way to get on your mother-in-law's good side is to refer the show to her and her family and friends so she can just get more entertainment and have more fun in life. And maybe she'll start to like you or not. Tell her to go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Really excited for the guest we have today. He's an amazing young gentleman, and you may have seen him across the YouTube, the TikTokity, all those crazy places on the internet. Justin Flom is joining us on the show. He is a maverick creator and known as a musician. He's known as a magician. There's going to be a lot of editing on this show, evidently. Before entering into the realm of social media, has garnered billions of views, about 1.5 billion a month, as Carl Sagan used to say, yet maintains a relatively anonymous presence in his videos, defying trends, algorithms, and even the primary rule of magicians. He's formerly seen on tours or television, tricking celebrities with his magic, and he dominates platforms like YouTube and TikTok, crafting content that hacks algorithms and captivates audiences worldwide. Renowned for his spray paint artistry and the whimsical trapdoor house featured in his videos. I watched a few of those. His creative genius transforms ordinary spaces into realms of fantasy and amusement. His kids love it. He's unconventional in his approach and views himself more as a data analyst, allowing back-end data to dictate his content strategy rather than personal preference. And his success lies in his ability to align his creations with the preferences of the internet, embodying the adage that it's not about what he likes, it's about what the internet likes. That's true. Always listen to the audience. Welcome to the show, Justin. How are you?
What's happening? I'm great, man. Thank you.
I'm great as well. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you for coming on the show. Give us your .coms. Where do you want people to follow you on the internet?
Anywhere. Google my name and you'll find some cool places. JustinFlom.com is the official website, but there's nothing there except for some fun pictures. You got to go to YouTube. And just go to that Shorts tab, hit most viewed, and you'll see all of the billions of views that we've been getting over on YouTube. It's been totally bonkers this month in particular. Last week, I was the #1 US-based creator on YouTube, 7 spots above Mr. Beast, which is totally crazy. We did over 500 million views last week. It was wild.
Congratulations. I mean, there's a lot of work and stuff that goes into this sort of thing. So give us a 30,000 overview of some of the different, how you look at what you do and how you do it sort of thing. And we've alluded to a little bit, but I think people want to hear it from you.
Yeah, look, you could look at it as, oh, wow, this Justin guy, he's an entertainer. He's getting 500 million views last week. It must be really special what he does. And yeah, maybe. But actually, I think, no, I just looked at the data side and am thinking very differently about the influencer economy, which is this social media world. And instead, if you look at what the audience wants and you look at retention, I think anybody can hack that algorithm and end up at the top of the feed, as I was last week, as I've been many times. And it's a really cool place to be, but it's all about different swipe feeds or scroll feeds. And YouTube Shorts, that's a scroll feed. So that's an algorithm that you can hack. TikTok, also a scroll feed. And, TikTok's in the news this week. It'll either stay or go. We'll find out. What do you think is going to happen?
I really don't know. I think they gave it a year, and I believe any sort of law like that is probably going to end up in the Supreme Court litigated, I think.
Right.
I imagine TikTok or whoever the powers that be will file the appropriate lawsuits, usually probably under free speech. I don't think it's ever going to be something that's going to stick. I don't know that there is a legal way that they can say, that that can't be that it can be shut down. I just don't
Yeah,
really
if they
think it's good for
force
free
a
speech.
sale of it, it kind of goes to a monopoly side of things. To me, it appears as though some platforms have better lobbyists than
Yeah.
TikToks, and that they've figured out, all right, well, if we ban our competition here or force a sale of our competition to us, they can win. But that's on the big boy side. What
Yeah.
about us who are actually on the platforms creating?
Mhm.
The thing is, I made a journey from live entertainment or live interactions to the digital. I've had a chance to speak for Walmart. Brought me into their headquarters so that I could speak. What was it like transitioning from in-person interactions with your clients, your customers, your audience to digital? And the biggest thing when I talk to people like you, when I talk to anybody who asks me, hey, I want to do this online thing, or hey, I've got my company, I've got my small business, how do I get in front of the eyeballs that you are?
Mhm.
So there's a term I coined back in 2020 when really the algorithm was taking off during this COVID lockdown, and that is barrier to exit. So we all know barrier to entry, right?
Mhm.
Barrier to entry, easy, common thing that we talk about, but barrier to exit, this is how easy is it for your client, your audience, a person you're engaging with to leave. Now, when I was doing live shows,
Mhm.
I would have to suck really bad for somebody to get up and leave my show. Why? Think about it. They've got a babysitter, they've
Mhm.
parked their car, they've come out, they've bought a ticket. There's the social thing of there's 1,000 people all sitting there. To get up and leave, you have to be like really not enjoying yourself. So very high barrier to exit. If
Yeah.
I think that it's good that the audience sat through the show, that's not that impressive. However, on any sort of social media platform, the barrier to exit is 1 inch swipe of that finger and they're gone.
Ah.
So very low barrier to exit. And the lower the barrier to exit, the better you have to be, or the more tailored to that audience member that you need to be. And this is what I spoke about with Walmart, because you are in the store in person, high barrier to exit. You're already in the store. You have to have a pretty bad interaction to leave. However, on social media, they can just swipe and the entire internet's worth of content is at their fingertips. Not only that,
Yeah.
we've been trained to understand that news feed is about to feed you something tailored for exactly your
Mhm.
tastes, for what you want to watch. So of course they're swiping like crazy unless you can stop the swipe, grab their attention, and engage them for the length of that content, having the highest watch time possible. And that's how you win the feed,
There you
is
go.
stop that swipe, keep them till the end.
The
That's
one
everything,
is swipe.
really.
That explains why my Tinder gets a lot of left swipes. Actually,
That's right.
you didn't have
Might
to
be a
agree with me,
different
Chris.
algorithm sort of thing, but yeah, we've all been there.
The one I've never thought of that. The one is that's how people do. And TikTok is it's so interesting how it's consumed. I've always been fascinated since COVID when it really kind of came to scale about how addictive it could be. I mean, I was sitting and watching. I would sit and start at like 11 o'clock at night, going, I'll watch a couple TikToks before I go to bed. And then suddenly
Boom,
it's
2
4 a.m.
hours.
It
Yeah.
would be 4 a.m. I'd be like, this is bad.
It's amazing. And here's the crazy thing. TikTok to me is the everyman, right? And TikTok is we say that, but it's it's like Kleenex. It's the brand name for the swipe feed. Whether it's TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, X, any of these things, it was put up directly against Quibi, which was this little startup from Hollywood, which was going to do short form Hollywood content. And then you have TikTok, which is, any grandma can put up a TikTok thing. And you've never heard of Quibi if you're listening to this, because it's gone. It failed miserably. It had the best chance of success ever, which was everyone was at home on their phones during lockdown. And it still failed because the public chose the everyman. The public said, we don't want to see Leo DiCaprio do short form content. We'd rather see him in a Tarantino film. But we do want to see if we're swiping through our phone, we want to see us. We want to see things we can do, or at least that we think that we can do. So as I've taken, this is my house here in the background. I've got a stage. There's a rappelling thing above my head where you can come down from the second story. There's a trapdoor room, a foam pit room. It's insane here. But every one of these pieces of content that I've done, I'm lucky enough that my job allows me to make my house a silly fun house. My kids love it. Every piece of all these little silly videos are filmed from a perspective of, hey, you could do this too. This wasn't that hard, actually. This didn't break the bank. I just a couple holes in some sheetrock and you can have a secret passageway too. And that's all calculated. I don't want the stuff to seem crazy impressive. Actually, we'll dumb down the content way lower because it's just more fun to swipe through content that feels like, I'm going to save that video. I might do that.
Yeah.
You're never going to do it, but you might.
Yeah. So I guess one of my first question is, I'm watching a video, different videos right now of you destroying stuff on your main page.
Right.
How early on when you started this, how did you convince your wife, who appears in a lot of your videos, to I'm going to take some hammers and punch some holes in the wall? How did you get her for that?
Luckily, when the money starts coming in to that amount, and it's very easy. I've got a really crazy situation here. I'm very lucky. So my wife Anna, she also does content. She's also been very successful.
Okay.
So the cool thing is my wife lives across the street from me. She lives in her own house. I have this house. We got married. We did not move in together.
Wow.
This, my friends, is the secret to marriage.
Yeah, it is,
it's the most bougie way of living. I mean, I know I don't want to be ignorant. Of course, a lot of people can't live that way. We're very blessed and very lucky.
Yeah.
But the reason that it's nice is this house, look, in that room right there, in the other room, we are currently taking a chainsaw to a wall and hiding a safe behind a picture frame that will explode with 100 spring snakes when you open the safe.
Who hurt you, Justin? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's insane. So that's just happening over there. And then upstairs, my daughter's bedroom is turning into a foam pit. That's just today. So, my wife is over at her little spa retreat.
There you go.
And she goes, yeah, you do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want with your house.
Yeah, what are you doing over there? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
You keep that going. But we spend every day together. So every night we get to go, hey, do we want to sleep in the foam pit or in the bed across the street?
I like this idea because I'm 56. I'm at the point with relationships where I don't want you in my house, and I don't want to be yelled at about the toilet seat and stuff and whatever. So you keep your house, I'll keep mine, and we'll just visit each other.
It's a very silly setup, but I think we cracked the secret to marriage.
There you go. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you grow up? What were some of your influences? Were you always this creative? What are some of the ways that you became who you were?
So, I was listening to John Cleese speak on creativity the other day, and he was saying that IQ actually doesn't have anything to do with creativity, they found in the research. Instead, it's about getting any individual into a state of play. That's where the creativity comes. And that's why all kids are seen as creative, but slowly we beat that out of them with the school system and government jobs. And so eventually a kid is 30 years old and they're no longer creative because they've just had it beaten out of them. But if you can get into a state of play, and I was lucky because I was raised by a magician. I was born into a family of magicians. So from the age of 2, I was jumping in and out of magic boxes. I don't remember most of my childhood because most of it was spent in a magic box. It's not child abuse. It's just magic, according to court documents, I guess. But the thing is, I got out of high school and I went straight into show business. I started a little show in Branson, Missouri, this little sleepy showbiz town in the middle of the country. And that was the first business venture. Totally failed, lost $500,000.
Oh my God.
It was a huge learning lesson because, if you build it, they will come. No, that's such a lie. It's a great film, but wow, what a lie. And so I was able to see what it was on the ticket side, on the in-person side of having to sell yourself to get somebody through the door. I will never do that again. So I live in Las Vegas, but I don't want a Las Vegas show by any means. Yeah. Instead, I get to be here and send the content out, and it's become ambush content. A big piece of the swipe feed is nobody has ever chosen to watch one of my videos by choice. No, they swipe up and there's my big dumb face taking a chainsaw to my banister And someone goes, well, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
And I will show you why. It's only going to take a minute, and then you get
Yeah.
to see something cool at the end of it. It's a good payoff. So that's what I do now. But growing up, it was magic. It was very lucky. The market told me how much value I had as a magician. It was just shy of $1 million a year, which is amazing. That's one of the top magicians on the planet. You know, you've got the big guys, David Copperfield and Penn and Teller, and those guys doing the millions and millions.
Yeah.
But then there's guys who are at my level, and we're working for corporations like Coca-Cola. Got to do some ad campaigns with Coke and Heineken, Benefit Cosmetics. It was cool. Then COVID hit, and all of those live things went away. What do? And you can sit and wait for the market to come back to do what you want to do, or you can say, all right, let's take a look at what the market is doing. Can I fit? Can I shift? Can I change? Can I evolve? And that's what I ended up doing, is changed everything. And I actually found way more fulfillment and freedom in creating without magic tricks. Because not to get too esoteric, but magic is actually quite limiting. It's the impossible. You'd think it's the most freeing thing in the world. Oh, you can do anything. You can do the impossible. There's only 10 impossible things. Like when you categorize it down, you can appear, you can disappear, you can teleport. But teleporting is really just appearing and disappearing in different places. So once you limit it down, you got 10 effects that you're going to do different iterations of. And that's what magicians have been doing for the last 500 years. But when you're not a magician and you don't have to fool somebody, now you can do the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
And what I love is we've started revealing magic secrets for all of our videos, because magicians have the coolest secrets that we don't tell anybody. Because previously, to an open source world like we live in now, it was imperative to keep all these secrets so that we could have our job. Now it's not necessary. Now you can have 100 million views in a magic secret, and it doesn't damage that secret. It doesn't, ruin it for other magicians. And you can just show off really cool things like trapdoors and invisible thread or fake thumbs where you can hide things. It's crazy. It's really fun.
How does your family feel about you exposing the magician's secrets? I mean, a lot of magicians don't like
It's a great question. So I have been kicked out of some magic organizations. It's actually big news right now in the magic community, because there's a couple magazines doing stories on it, and they're unhappy with me exposing magic secrets. And it's kind of this debate where some of the heavy hitters in magic have come over to my side, and they realize, no, this is different. This is something new. This is a new way of presenting magic. In fact, I believe the world would be a better place for magicians if everyone knew about as much magic as my dad, who, he's a magician. He's an amateur magician. He's an insurance salesman, but he does magic. And he loves it more than anybody. So even though he knows how David Copperfield does like half of his stuff, he's going to enjoy the show even more because he really values when he's fooled, and that same thing for regular people, I think. So
I would agree with you. I would agree with
right?
you. When we had an acting and modeling agency in the 2000s, I got to sit on casting things for movies and TV, and I would sit with the casting directors and stuff. And you would see the bad actors who just didn't act well, and then you see those magical actors that could just transform a scene. And now I appreciate going to the movies more, even though I kind of know the back end of what goes on with the work of it. But now I can appreciate movies so much better because, like you say, I enjoy the show.
I think that's, look, when you go to Jurassic Park, we understand that those are, special effect dinosaurs or whatever the thing is. It doesn't take away from the magical sense of what you're watching, even though it's fake. And even though oftentimes exactly how the thing is done, you can totally get sold into the illusion, especially if it's an optical illusion, something that fools your eyes. So what we're playing with in a lot of the videos is we'll show you where the mirror is for the magic trick. And you're watching it and you're like, wow, that fools my eye. I know where the mirror is, but look, it looks like he disappeared or whatever. So the magic still works in that fun little spot in your brain that it tickles, even though we've given them the secret. And giving them the secret is that thing that stops the swipe. They go, what is he doing with that mirror? It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I watched the mirror with you. I think you're on the lawn or something. It's a recent video.
Yeah.
It was enthralling. I'm like, what's going on? Where I kind of know, what goes on with green screens and things like that. It definitely was intriguing. And so, I like your videos because from the moment you see the first second or two, you're like, what the fuck is going to happen next?
Exactly.
So what's happening
That's the
next?
thing.
That sort of thing. So you talk about data and analyzing and how you built your career on TikTok and YouTube. How did you, when you first started doing these videos on TikTok, how did you know things were working? Did things initially hit for you, or did it take some time to dial it in?
Yeah. So I used to do magic on social media, and this would be an example for any of your listeners who do social media, either for their small business or for their own entertainment. You always start by doing what you like on social media. And I could not get magic to take off the same way that silly things would take off. So I just did one stupid thing where I had a gag, just a trick bar stool thing, just a comedy joke. And boom, it's 10 million views in a day. And I was like, okay, all right, maybe I've got this thing. So let's throw up some magic tricks. Nothing. So it took looking in the back end to the watch time and what the viewer was investing in what they wanted to see, just in watch time. And highest watch time is always going to win. We don't really have any other metrics. We've got likes and emojis and other things that platforms will track, but it really is watch time that is king. Wow. Yeah. So I saw, as I'm looking at the data of magic tricks, people kind of understood, all right, my life isn't going to be any different after the end of watching this magic trick. This bastard's not going to tell me how he does the trick. He's a magician. They never tell the secret. And B, I don't know if it's a camera trick, if that's an actor or anything. There's this digital screen in between us. So even if it's the best magic trick ever, I can't trust it. So you know what? Swipe. All that happens in a half-second calculation in someone's head. Yeah. And if there's not something really visually enticing, they're out. But then early in like the first week of COVID lockdown, I put up a little bar bet, a little betcha that I invented with my previous wife. I had her, hold a credit card in a certain way that just physiologically you can't drop the credit card if your fingers are intertwined this way. It's just an old bar bet. And that thing got 50 million views in a couple days. And I was like, whoa, okay, hang on. What is happening here? This was a stupid video. Like, we're in our pajamas in the bathroom and we're just doing this stupid thing, but it went banger. So I was like, all right, let's try some other things. Well, then pretty soon you're able to see, okay, people want to see things where there's stakes. So in this one, I told my then wife, if you can figure out the secret to this bet, you get to buy whatever you want on the credit card. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah. It's more interesting than a card trick. And then next, it was, what's something that you can do? Because people are selfish, man. You're swiping the feed and you're looking for something for yourself, something that you would like to veg out and just enjoy watching, or something that maybe you want to try yourself, whether it be a new way of making a s'more in the microwave or a new special thing that all these life hacks, like, oh, wow, that's a nice way of getting toothpaste out of the thing or whatever. So as soon as you put the viewer as the centric part of the creative process, what do they want to see? Everything changed. And that changed the focus. The first month of creating content, it was $40,000 brought in from splitting with the platform. And I was like, whoa. Next month, 80,000. And I'm like, holy shit, this is insane. And then the next month it kept going up until, about a year later, we had $1 million month. It was insane. Wow. Awesome. And it's ebbed and flowed as people, as friends get into the social media world. I go, hey, buckle up for the roller coaster where you're going to think, do not make any decisions as though this is a sustainable income forever. It is just craziness because now I'm on YouTube. So that was mostly Facebook earnings back in the day. Now YouTube is this YouTube Shorts. So I have 1 billion views, and
Wow.
that'll equal $70,000 or $80,000.
Wow.
Now, that $70,000 or $80,000 is a lot of money. Also, 1 billion views puts you as one of the top viewed on the platform. $70,000 or $80,000 doesn't sound like that much again, when you're talking about billion views, because 1 billion views, if it was long form, because remember, we're talking YouTube Shorts, 1 billion views long form would be like $100,000.
Yeah.
As opposed to, so sorry, 1 billion views is $1 million.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, 1 billion views would be $1 million, which is a lot different than $60,000. So it's going to ebb and flow.
That's why they call them shorts, because the money's shorter on the shorts.
That's right. Well, we're in the short war right now. Who's going to win the short war? Facebook with their reels, TikTok, soon to be banned, maybe selling, YouTube Shorts with shorts, or now X is getting into the game. And the big rumor is that Vine is going to come back.
It's funny because Vine is the original TikTok,
right?
And it
6 second
it was
looping,
really successful. Yeah.
So it was successful. I don't know why. There was a meeting done between the top creators of Vine and Twitter, who owned it, and the creators were asking for money. They said, "Hey, we gotta get paid. We're bringing all these people to the platform." I forget the exact dollar amount, but Twitter threw out a dollar amount, and this is 20 creators in a room or whatever. And the creators go, no, we'd need probably, double that for each of us. And Twitter goes, each of you? No, this was the lump sum. We were saying that you guys would all split. So they were way off in what the creator, and this was the first real social media company that went down because creators left, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I want Jack, Ev, Biz, and Stone. They're all fucking idiots. They're the clown car that crashed into success.
Right?
That is the definition of Twitter, the clown car that crashed into success. And they tried their hardest for 10 years to destroy that platform with self-sabotage, because they're the Three Stooges. And somehow it succeeded. I mean, it's hard to measure Twitter's success, really, considering it lost money most of its life. Now it loses even more. So we'll see how it goes. But Vine had so much potential, and but I mean, that's it. That's kind of the way it works. So how do you come up with all the energy to do the creative stuff and come up with the creativity? Because your stuff is extraordinarily creative.
Thanks, man.
You're either a madman, insane, or you have a good team around you. How do you keep the
I'm so lucky. Look, as far as team goes, it's me and a guy. I got my guy Russ, and when people hear that, that's what breaks their brain. They go, "Wait a second, are you the guy building your trapdoor?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I am." It's disconcerting, because then you're like, "Wait a second, I don't know if I want to stand on this trapdoor. You didn't get a contractor in here? Come on."
Yeah, up to code.
Yeah, we've got as far as the team goes, I've got me and my guy Russ. I brought him out from Branson, Missouri. He worked for me when he was like 15 years old, when I was doing a magic show, and I called him. 15 years later, I go, "Hey, there's some crazy stuff happening out here. You should come out." But we bring out other people, contractors and other things, to help us do things. But as far as the idea goes, right now we just go, what would be fun? What would be like you just go, what would we do if we could do anything? Like a slide in the bedroom. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. A trampoline in 2 closets stacked on top of each other. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And now I'm lucky because I was able to build up to an audience that was paying for these ideas to happen. It'd be pretty difficult to do this starting from square one and invest into putting all these secret passageways and stuff in. But the ideas are watching a lot of cartoons. Okay. A little bit of marijuana and some cartoon watching. It's good. Yeah, it's Las Vegas. It's allowed. And then the other thing is you have to track what the viewer's watching. As I said, data is making all the decisions. But spray paint art is also a big piece of what I'm doing now. It's really surprised me. I did a spray paint video a couple of years ago, and it did millions of views. And I was like, well, I love spray paint art. I've always had an interest in it on the side. Let me do some more of it. And it just kept going up and up and up. And what really got creative was when we started combining real world problems with the spray paint art. So now the creative process is, what problem do people run into, like a hole in the wall or a broken sink or something, that we can fix with a painting? And the painting doesn't fix it at all. In fact, it usually highlights the problem more, which makes it fun. So I knock a hole in the wall, and instead of fixing the hole with just an easy patch, we draw Tom and Jerry with Tom, the cat, smashing the mouse as he runs out of the hole. Now the hole's fixed because it's art. So we've got some cool ones coming up. We've got Darth Vader stabbing Obi-Wan with a lightsaber that's shooting out of a wall that we're painting coming up. And we've got Thor's hammer, which will be stuck to a wall. And if you are worthy, you'll be able to take the hammer off of the wall with the painting of Thor right there. Most people won't be worthy, but that's a lot of hidden electromagnets in the wall now to hold a Thor hammer. But you just go, what would be cool to do? Well, we should paint Thor. Well, we obviously we need a hammer coming out of the wall, that sort of thing.
I think you're keeping Home Depot in business.
Yes, or Lowe's if they pay. Home Depot, Lowe's. I'm open to sponsorships.
One of those two people there, man, because you're using that there.
The biggest problem with these, so we've pitched these sponsors, but we end up moving too fast for the companies. So 6 months ago we pitched, hey, we're building a trampoline room. We're using either a lot of Ryobi or a lot of DeWalt. You tell us which.
There you
go. But then, by the time they get around to talking to us, we go, oh yeah, we already built it. It's in the house. It's at 200 million views right now. We told you guys about it 6 months ago. We got to keep moving. We got to go.
Missing some opportunities again on screen time there.
Yeah,
I mean, they really are.
Look, it's a fun game, but it's a monster that has to be fed every single day. Yeah, that's the hard thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing that YouTubers go through. I was an early YouTuber, and we used to make pretty good money back in the day, reviewing products. But, the constant constant creating and the constant doing and the filming, sometimes people get burnt out. How do you keep from getting burnt out?
Oh, I'm burnt out right now. It's just we have, luckily it's a lot of fun. And we blow off steam in a good way. You have to be surrounded by well, here's what we did to blow off steam last night. This was the best. So again, this is the crazy fun house. There's a tunnel of doors, moving bookcases. There's a lot of secret crazy stuff in the house. I had over like 20 friends last night because it was my birthday this week. Happy birthday, me.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. 38. It's getting there. 40 almost.
Yeah.
But we did a lights out household hide and seek with everyone's a grown adult. Okay. We're all almost 40. And I thought maybe they were, I thought people would hang out and like hide behind doors and stuff. These people, there was one woman we couldn't find in our house for almost an hour. Wow. Okay. It was great. And this is my house. I was the seeker. So I'm looking under the trampoline in the closet and again, this is a very, very weird house. And it was pitch black. All the lights were out. We were playing Alfred Hitchcock music loud over the speakers. It was creepy.
Oh, really? Oh.
It was fantastic. That's how we don't get burned out. We have a lot of fun doing stupid stuff. We should have filmed it because
that would have been fun.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a party I went to where you had to put your keys in a bowl at the door.
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know.
That was a different kind of party.
Yeah.
Swinging good time.
It's a lot of darkness and finding people. Anyway, so there you go. So overall, I mean, a lot of creators would be probably hurt. A lot of great people that are entertaining people would be hurt on TikTok if it were shut down. I'm hoping they're just going to take it to SCOTUS and but First Amendment sort of issues and fight the law that's done that. I don't
Look,
know.
TikTok. So the TikTok doesn't pay enough anyway. So
Really?
I wouldn't be unhappy with them leaving,
Hmm.
because they've done a couple very problematic things. So first of all, I'm a TikTok user and I like the feed, and I like what it shows me. But also the theft on TikTok is rampant, where
Yeah.
TikTok has become actually the first place that me and my friends will upload to, because if we upload anywhere else, some thief in another country will immediately rip that video and put it up on their own channel
Hmm.
on TikTok and start earning money on it. And TikTok
Wow.
goes, meh, meh, whoop, we wish we could help you. And that's it. They don't help. There's no help. There's nothing they can do. They just go, you can't earn on your video here because it's uploaded by somebody else over
Wow.
there. First to upload is the winner. Really rough
Wow.
for the creators on that platform. And if you are monetized and you have your piece of content monetized, the dollar amount return is so low.
Wow.
It's really really rough. So
Mm.
as a creator, you feel like you have to be on TikTok because your content is going to be on there anyway.
Yeah.
But you just are bummed by how many views you're getting and not being paid for.
Yeah.
So I hope if TikTok goes away, we want, I don't know if Elon's going to do it or somebody, to create some place that has some good competition for the Metas and the Googles to go, hey, we're paying, like, come over here. Maybe it'll happen. My bet is Google these days.
Yeah.
That's my
Me
bet.
too.
I think they've historically got the best system to pay creators.
It's kind of like
We'll,
Facebook. All roads lead back to them eventually. If they don't buy you, they're just the AMS of whatever. I heard that I was reading the other day, and I think I read that because India shut down TikTok, I think it was India, shut down TikTok, and banned them. It was over some military crap. They that's the real reason YouTube Shorts and the other one got started in competing with TikTok. Is they saw that there was an opportunity there. Do you have the ability, like on YouTube as a creator, I have the ability to go in and cut off all those people who stole my videos and file copyright things.
yeah, YouTube is a lot better
Yeah.
at protecting content
So
for
you can't do that on
sure.
TikTok.
TikTok does not have that, and even Meta, is better. It's glitchy, but Meta has a system of rights managing your content and making sure that you're getting paid on your content.
Yeah.
And historically, Meta's paid me more than any other platform.
Wow.
So I should be kind to Meta.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really rough time over on Meta right now.
Yeah.
It's very glitchy and rough, and I want, if they're listening, I want to post to your platform, okay?
Yeah.
But it's really hard to, and you're not. Pages get flagged. There's no transparency on Facebook. You can get in a lot of trouble and you don't know it.
Yeah.
And whereas YouTube, man, they tell you everything. Because they want creators to have the knowledge to create the good content to keep the user base there. And I think that Meta just has too many products for them to be able to be thinking about the video world.
Yeah.
Meta has, Marketplace and Messenger and WhatsApp and Instagram. They've got all of these other places, and we haven't even talked about Instagram, where there is nothing but theft and no payment. So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
But look, there's never been more eyeballs on content on smartphone devices. It's a really fun time to be a creator, and there is money there. It just might end up being monetizing the content, not through the platform, but through sponsored content. And that's probably the future. So whoever figures out how do we connect creators with brands in a better way, they'll win.
X, I know X is. I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, but I think he needs to get a penis extension. But he seems to have some small dick energy going on. But that's my opinion. But I would hope that it would work. We've been for the past 2 or 3 months on the live show getting more live views on X than ever before.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to do that thing with, Don Lemon was a huge fallout. There's
Right.
been some huge fallouts, and Facebook did that. They screwed a lot of people. They tried to get YouTube creators to come over and do
Yeah.
stuff, and they really buggered people, and they just didn't have trust, and so people just stay with YouTube. Well, we're not doing that. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do it. But I have been surprised we get more lives now on Twitter than everything because we don't have a big account over there.
Yeah,
So,
that it is this magic thing that platforms can do where they go, hey, we want to attract people, and they can boost, they have a switch. They have a magic switch where they can go, yes, we're going to give you a lot of reach because we want you to be motivated, and they want you to consolidate your follower base over there. Facebook would love to have a Mr. Beast. But also so there's a big difference between destination content and algorithm content. And I'm mostly an algorithm creator. You got a Dude Perfect or a Mr. Beast. That's destination, meaning you see a thumbnail and a title and you decide, I want to watch that, click. And you go to the destination to view the content, as opposed to swipe feed stuff, which is TikTok and shorts and reels, where you swipe up. You don't have a thumbnail. You get a title and the video started. And then you decide whether or not you're going to hang out there. So like I said, no one's ever chosen to watch one of my videos. They swipe up on my stuff. But, that's how Facebook is built. And the most money is always going to come from long form content, meaning something longer than a minute. And there was only one swipe feed that had long form content. It was Meta. It was Facebook. Everywhere else was short. So Facebook paid me. I've got a lot more money in my bank account from Meta than any other platform because that was where my long versions of all these videos lived. Now, since then, the algorithm has shifted and there's different things with Facebook where, looks like my 20 million follower page over there isn't going to be given the reach that it was previously. That's a Meta thing. You deal with it. But it's kind of the way the platforms work. Are you a creator in the long form space or the short form space? Money's in the long form.
Yeah. And see, that's been our challenge. We love the long form, and short form, especially for what we do, is really hard to do. I mean, unless, you can try cutting little bits out of the podcast. YouTube did do something that was interesting that maybe foretells their future from what we've been talking about, where they recently, it looks like they're trying to give Apple a run for its money on podcasts. And so they recently reached out to all the podcasters like us, and they actually sucked up the space for podcasts and put it on YouTube Music. I think it's on there, and of course it's on my YouTube channel now, where there's a section for our podcast. I don't know how well they're going to do it because iTunes is dominant in that space, but I can see how they're just trying to stay the best of everything.
Look, we've got 4 companies battling for the same thing. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden we see friend requests on Netflix. Like it all blurs the line between just viewer content and the friends thing. Who knows what's going to happen? But it's an exciting thing, and I think everybody should be creating and putting into it, because what we've found is that everyone has the ability to create content and get paid for it. Like even my mom. Who, she's 60, she can throw up a video and get millions of views accidentally. And if we create a system that gets creators paid even better, then it's a really cool marketplace for the creator.
There you go. Well, you give me hope because I was about to give up everything and go to OnlyFans. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep working on this TikTok thing a little better.
Yeah, if you think the competition is hard on YouTube, go on OnlyFans. Oh my goodness,
There's a lot of competition that's hard on OnlyFans, I hear.
Yes.
In fact, there's a guy called the Girth Master that I heard about, and evidently there's some hard content over there. I'm not sure what that means.
Yes. Excuse the pun. Right, exactly.
That's what we do. So as we go out, final question to you. Any quick advice you give to creators that want to grow up and be like you and have this success?
Yeah, man. The cool is start. Just start. If you are a creator and you want to get in the game, okay, there was a great story. I think it was Rodney Dangerfield. Could be somebody else, but it might have been whoever it was, hanging out at the Comedy Store. And some guy walks up and says, hey, I'm thinking about being a comedian. And Dangerfield goes, oh, you'll never do it. You're thinking about it? You'll never do it. Never. You just got to do it because you're going to suck and be terrible for years until you're good. So you just got to get that out of the way as quickly as possible because no one has ever not been terrible at the beginning. Okay. Even Justin Bieber. Okay. Well, when he was 15 when he was discovered. Yeah, but he started when he was 10 and he sucked. And he got the 5 years of being terrible out, invisibly, kind of anonymously, so that by the time he struck success, he was good. The Beatles went to Hamburg, Germany before they were the Beatles, and they sucked at a bar where they just played night in and night out, other people's music, some of their own. But by the time they got out of Hamburg, Germany, they were the Beatles, and they were good because they got all of the bad out. So for me, I did it on the road, touring around, doing magic shows in front of people, and got all of that bad out in my early 20s. I've seen footage of the shows, and it was bad. I thought it was awesome. It's totally fine. It was bad. And same thing, I had to be bad again at social media at the beginning. So if you're a creator and you want to start, just start and just start putting up everything. Don't think about times of when to post. Don't think about, this is my niche and I don't want to do this kind of thing. I want to do all of it, because the algorithms are such that they're going to help you find your audience. And even more, I can do a short video of home renovation and then another one of art and another one of how to make turkey broth after Thanksgiving dinner with your turkey carcass. And each of those will find the audience because these platforms know the viewers' tastes better than us. And they're going to say, oh, I think you want to watch this one and this person wants to watch this one. So do all of the things, do it all right now, and don't worry about the production value or how you look. Take your ego out of it, because nothing is more cringy than when somebody wants to be seen. In fact, here's a secret. The secret is oftentimes we'll make ourselves look more disheveled on camera, because then it really appears like, well, this guy does not want this to be on the internet right now. Look at how terrible he looks. And we want to see something that people are not supposed to see. That's the thing. Now, if I come on screen and I'm wearing my, fancy leather jacket and I look, nice and good, like it took on learning for me because I'm an entertainer. Yeah. Like I'm from the Wayne Newton school of entertainment where you be good and you do. Wayne Newton lives down the street. Oh, yeah. That's not the internet. So instead, you want the footage to be like, oh my gosh, are you recording? Okay, well, here, look at this thing. And people feel like they're being let in on something. So at least that's the trend right now. It could go back to shiny floor content again in the future. Doesn't seem like it right now. It seems like we're way more interested in seeing, somebody come out of the bedroom just as they are and show the thing that they've got. That's what we're doing.
Showing up in a bathrobe then to the show.
Absolutely. Hey, it worked for Hugh.
This podcast anyway. So. Well, I don't know. I don't know that people want to see that. I mean, that might be for the OnlyFans content. So there you go.
There you go.
Justin, it's been wonderful to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on. Wonderful discussion as well, too. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. And then give us .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, just search my name, Justin Flom, Flom. JustinFlom.com is my official website. That's where you can get in touch with me. Those emails, they come straight to me. So go ahead, spam me up if you didn't like something I said, or if you didn't like something Chris said. If you enjoyed all this talk, my name is Justin Flom. If you hated this talk, I'm Chris Angel.
Wow.
No, I like Chris.
Yeah,
I like Chris. It's David Copperfield who doesn't like me.
Oh, seriously? Wow.
It's fun. That's a long story for another time.
Oh, yeah.
I love David. He doesn't like me.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And
I think he's a great guy. I don't know personally.
Yeah, he's probably not a great guy, but I like him. I like his art. I like what he did for Magic. And then YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of it's just under my name, Justin Flom. You can find me, and there's lots of silly stuff. It's too much fun. And if you're in Las Vegas, come visit.
I will. I actually half live in Vegas half the time.
It's a great place.
Isn't it such a wonderful city?
Especially right now, before it gets all hot. This is like the best.
The best time, yeah. I'm a Raiders fan, and I'm just so happy that that Raiders thing moved there. But the town's getting a little too popular for me.
Buddy, that Super Bowl, that was great. We did a good job with it. I was talking to the a guy at the NFL, and he said, "Oh yeah, we'll put you on the short list now, I think, for the Vegas Super Bowl on the short list, so we don't have to wait 20 years to get it again." Because that was fun for the town. That was great.
We do shows like nobody does shows. I mean, every show should move here. Anyway, thank you very much, Justin, for coming on the show. Thanks to our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com, Chris Foss, LinkedIn.com, Chris Foss. Chris Foss won the TikTokity. I have about 5 followers over there, so check him out. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.